I was a teenager and my brother was in college, and for some reason, we were at home together watching the animated kids movie Ice Age. It was a good movie, but I was tired and constantly drowsing off to sleep. It was then that my brother issued me a challenge. If I could stay awake for the rest of the movie, he would give me $10. Keep in mind, $10 was a lot of money to me back then. It was the equivalent of an hour of shoveling snow for the neighbor. I was wide awake now. Sure, I had been tired when nothing was on the line, but now, with the stakes so high, no problem. That money's mine. And so, as the woolly mammoth and saber-toothed tiger trekked across the frozen tundra, I began to think about how I would spend my prize. How many packs of Topps football cards is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. And I was fast asleep. I never got the $10. I was too tired to stay awake. Sometimes, or rather oftentimes, the journey to our true home is exhausting, physically, mentally, and emotionally. For most of us, it's a long, difficult journey marked with trials and temptations. We try to believe there is a wonderful destination waiting at the end, but the journey becomes so arduous that we begin to wonder if we can make it. And then, when the journey becomes a daunting climb over a jagged mountain pass, we begin to doubt if there really is a perfect, eternal home waiting for us at the peak. We grow weary, and the journey overwhelms us. If anyone had reason to collapse from exhaustion, it was the Apostle Paul. Paul's journey home was filled with suffering. He was flogged with whips, beaten with rods, and pelted with stones. He was cold, hungry, thirsty, and naked. He was threatened, shipwrecked, and imprisoned. He dedicated almost every moment of his life as a Christian to the service of others. He sought to carry the good news of Jesus to the ends of the earth. And as payment for his wholehearted, selfless devotion to Jesus, he was persecuted again and again. The Apostle Paul had every reason to be overcome by physical, mental, and emotional exhaustion, but he wasn't. When he neared the end of his life on earth, Paul spoke words that stir my emotions almost every time I read them. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. How did he do that? How did he stay awake and energetic and break through the finish line at full speed after running the most difficult marathon imaginable? How did he hold on to his faith through the many dark and sleepless nights of his soul? I remember when I was in prison, there were times when it was difficult to take another step, another breath. And unlike Paul, I deserved the hardships I faced. I suffered for my sins. I was disciplined by God. Those difficult months in prison caused me to admire Paul all the more, for he had suffered not for sin, but for righteousness. I want to be like him. I want to be able to speak those same words at the end of my journey. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. But how can I ever live a life worthy of those words? I am so weak. I get exhausted so much more easily than Paul. What was the source of his strength? There is one person who understands suffering even more than Paul. He knows the physical, mental, and emotional suffering of life's journey more than any of us ever can. When he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, at his most vulnerable moment, and when the threat of exhaustion was so intense that he began to sweat droplets of blood, he begged his disciples to stay awake with him. He needed to go off and pray to his Father, but he didn't want to be alone. Not now. He was desperate for the loving support of his closest followers and friends. But they failed him. They fell asleep. 3 times they fell asleep and left him alone. Jesus stayed awake, though. Jesus spent the lonely night crying out to his Father in heaven. Jesus was going to reach the finish line, no matter how difficult the journey, no matter how much it cost him. How can we reach the end of life's long and difficult journey, still joyful, still faithful, still hopeful? The writer of Hebrews tells us, "Let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God." We can only reach the end of the journey and successfully obtain the prize awaiting us if we fix our eyes on Jesus. That's how the Apostle Paul was able to remain hopeful and utter those powerful words at the end of his life. He looked to the trailblazer, the one who came before us and cut a path through the thick jungle of life. He kept his eyes fixed on the one who endured suffering to the point of sacrificing his life so that humanity would have a way to go home. The prize awaiting us if we faithfully finish the journey is far more than the $10 my brother offered me. Our true and eternal home is the prize awaiting us. If we keep our eyes fixed on Jesus and keep longing for our home, we will be able to say with Paul, "I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day. And not only to me, but also to all who have longed for his appearing."